Chapter 5. Sally was determined to catch up with her best friend from school while she was at home. Muriel McKinney was a teacher in a school for handicapped children, and Sally admired her enormously. She was a rare and special person. The response to her telephone call was immediate and excited. Sally, how fantastic to hear your voice. Where are you? How are you? Muriel screamed down the phone. Sally couldn't help laughing. God, Muriel, that voice could launch 1,000 tugs. I'm home for 2 or 3 weeks, so we have to catch up. When is a good time for you? Oh, there is so much to talk about. I'm getting married in December, her friend announced out of the blue. Well, that has shut me out for a start. Married? How long have you known the guy? You haven't mentioned him to me. Sally was taken aback. It only seemed like a few weeks ago that she had been talking to Muriel and discussing a girls' night out. Sally, you are hopeless. We have not spoken for months. I feel terrible that I have not been in touch to keep you posted. But you know what it's like with work and everything. His name is Dave and he's a folk singer with a band. In fact, he is doing a gig on Saturday night at the Hen and Chickens. Remember when we always used to go? Well, he will be there doing his bit. So why not come with me and Mac? You remember Mac, don't you? She teased. Oh, please, come on. How is your hunky brother? Sally recalled how she had always been a little flustered around her friend's big brother. Mac had seemed very moody and mysterious to a young girl like Sally. She could picture him now, with his incredibly blue eyes smiling down at her. Doing really well. He's a successful photographer and sculptor. I know he would love to see you, Sal. Shall we meet at the pub at 7 on Saturday then? And you can bet my beloved, not that I will listen to a bad word against him. Muriel said happily. Great, I will see you there. It is lovely to hear your voice, my dear friend. Bye. Sally replaced the receiver, beaming with well-being. Life was good. The rest of the week passed all too quickly as Sally put her house in order. She arranged with Douglas to drive up to Crewe on Sunday morning. Is this a good idea? Ventured Dora. We are all going out on Saturday night, don't forget. Do you want to be looking for digs with a hangover? You have a point, sister dear, but I don't think I will have any choice. Dad won't want to spend a weekday up there, will he? I will just have to practice self-control. In fact, Saturday night proved very jolly and not at all as precious as it might have been. Dora didn't join them at the pub in the end, as she decided to go to the movies with an old friend, or new beau, if the truth be known. So Sally met Muriel and Dave and the lovely Mac in the Hen and Chickens by herself. It was strange to be back on her old turf, having a night out like normal folk. Sally always distinguished people who were not in the acting profession as normal. Actors were a breed apart, and a group of them together was like a flock of starlings, continually screeching and pecking and jostling for position. Sitting in the pub that Saturday night was pleasingly, pleasantly soothing, and Sally felt very relaxed. Mac was good fun and very attentive. It almost felt like a date. So what do you think of Dave? Mac asked when Muriel had gone to the cloakroom. He seems very nice, Sally replied truthfully. Why do you ask? And Muriel seems very happy. Well, he is my future brother-in-law, so I have a vested interest in the success of the romance. Mac got up to go to the bar. Another cider? Yes, please. Sally passed him her glass and watched him wipe off to get the drinks. He really was very attractive and such a lovely man. She thought to herself, how good would it be to find someone like him to share things with? But she knew it was pointless even considering a relationship while she was pursuing her goals in the theatre. She was going to need every ounce of concentration to do a play every 2 weeks and work on the stage management team. At drama school, they had had a few classes on stage management, but nothing much. The biggest challenge had been to build a set to scale with all the scenery and furniture. It was fun, but no one took it very seriously. Certainly Sally herself had never expected in a million years that she would be employed as an assistant stage manager. For goodness sake, like most actors, her ego was sufficiently healthy that she had assumed she would be playing roles, not making props penny for them. Max startled her as she sat down and put the drinks on the table. Oh, blimey, you gave me a fright. I was miles away, Sally told him. In sunny Crewe, by any chance? He asked. Yes, as a matter of fact, how did you guess? Sally asked, taking a sip of her cider. Well, I do know you a little bit, Miss Thomas, and as I recall, you are a very committed young lady. Therefore, I would imagine that you are already trying to work out what it is all going to be like up there. Sally grinned sheepishly. Well, yes, I am a bit distracted. Sorry, but is it all rather scary? Of course it is, but you will be great. By the way, have you got a spare hour next week for me to do a photo and piece about you? The local rag is very keen to support their first true celebrity. Oh, please don't embarrass me, laughed Sally. I'm hardly anything near that status, but I would love to do the article with you. Thank you for putting it together. The conversation was halted by the opening number of the band and Dave's voice filling the room. He was rather good, actually, and Sadie looked around to see where Muriel had got to. She spotted her at the front of the stage, joining in the chorus with a great gusto. By the end of the evening, Sally was singing along to Come On Irene, the big hit by Dixie Midnight Runners. It was the perfect end to a great night. They all end up in the local Indian, and then Mac offered to walk her home. Shall I ring you Monday to set up our photo opportunity? He asked as they reached Sally's front door. Yes, that's fine, but would you make it at the end of the afternoon because we might not be back from crew? Sure thing. Maybe we could go and get something to eat afterwards. Afterwards, if you fancied it. Sally was suddenly very aware of Mac's lips. They seemed very kissable. How much did she want to kiss her? Before she could answer the question, Mac had pulled her to him and was giving her the answer. He tasted so good despite the curry and beer. She returned his kiss with more passion than she had intended. Finally, they broke apart. That was very unexpected, said Sally breathlessly. Not for me. I have been longing to do that all night, Miss Thomas. However, I know you have to get up early, so I won't detain you. I look forward to Monday. He winked, then turned and walked away, leaving Sally in a bit of a tease. She let herself into the house, went to the kitchen to make a cup of tea, and sat at the table there to gather her thoughts. Why did this have to happen now, on the eve of their big adventure? Here she was, going off into the unknown to seek her fortune, and all she could think about was her next date with Mac. Maybe it was because he seemed so solid and secure, and she was feeling the exact opposite. Sitting here now in the family kitchen, surrounded by all the familiar objects from her childhood, the girl was aware of just how much her life was about to change, and she had little choice in which way it would turn. What will be, she sighed as she switched off the lights and tiptoed up to bed, rolling on tomorrow and let the play begin. Sally was up early on Sunday morning and doing breakfast for everyone when her father appeared in the kitchen doorway. That's what I like to see, he said, enthusiasm. Good on you, girl. We will get you sorted out in no time. He sat down and tucked into eggs and bacon Sally had placed in front of him. Is Dora awake? She asked. I wasn't sure whether she was going to come with us or not today. Before Douglas could answer, Dora herself came bounding down the stairs, saying, Of course I'm coming with you. I wouldn't miss it for the world. Oh, breakfast. Did you make me some, Sally? Sally smiled and presented her sister with a plate of eggs and bacon. Oh, great. You really do cook the best full English in the world. If you don't make it as an actress, you can always open a cafe. It's good to know I have talent for something, replied Sally, finishing her mugs of tea and clearing up the plans. Where's Mother this morning? Is she still in bed? Good Lord, no, snorted Douglas. She has gone off to teach our watercolour class. She sent her love wishes us luck and says she will see us back at the ranch. Come on then, girls. We had better get a move on or we won't make it to the crew before lunch. He swiped his plate with a piece of bread, devoured it hungrily, and then placed the plate in the sink. Delicious. Thanks, Sally. See you outside. The girls rushed round during the final clear-up in the kitchen, and Sally made sure she had all her addresses and phone numbers, and the maps and sheets of theoretical info she had been sent. And then they were off. It was still early, so the roads were clear, and by 10 o'clock they were bowling up the M6, making good headway. It only took them about 2.5 hours, and by 10:30 they found themselves outside the theatre. Thank God the sun is shining, thought Sally, because Crewe was certainly not the most welcoming town on Sunday morning. The street was deserted and the theatre looked very shut, although Susan had assured her when she had rung that the stage doors are always open from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. every day. Let's go round to the stage door, Sally suggested. You can leave the car here, Dad. Come on. Dora and Douglas followed Sally down the alleyway at the side of the theatre. The big red sign was still there, pointing into the doorway, and Sally pulled on the handle, relieved, as it opened. Hello, anybody around? She called out. Hello, dearie. You must be Sally Thomas. Susan said you were coming today. Welcome. The greeting came from a cheery, round-faced lady who filled the entire cubicle. That was the stage door entrance. Lovely to meet you, pet. I am Mrs. Edge, Gladys, and I am mostly front of house, but I feel in, when needed. We all muck in here. Sally took her hand and shook it, saying, Lovely to meet you too, Gladys. This is my sister Dora and my father Douglas. There was no room to shake hands, so Sally backed up to the outside door and let Gladys come out to them. Now, dearie, have you got a list? Gladys went on. I can give you some recommendations if you like, but the trouble is most of the good stuff has gone. We had a couple of leading actors who came back every year, you see, and obviously they take the same place each time. Let's look at your list. Sally handed her dig list, which was marked up herself with possible addresses near the theatre. Gladys peered at it. Well, now I can tell you straight away, love, none of these are any good because they are either taken or no longer available. She looked up and saw Sally's face drop. No, don't despair, because I knew you're coming. I have had a ring around and there are a couple of possibles. Would you like a flat eventually, do you think? Because there is very nice 2 bedrooms up near the station. It's only 15 minutes walk away, and the lady who owns it is very decent and won't overcharge. And she prefers females. She's got someone until October, but if we can get you a room until then, that will suit, wouldn't it, dear? Wouldn't it, dearie? That will suit perfectly, Gladys. You see, my sister Dora here is hoping to come and join me in October, so it couldn't be better. Can we go and see it now, though, do you think? Chimed in Dora, who was hovering excitedly. Well, I can ring her and see, said Gladys. I have also got the number for a room in a house in the next road. I don't know the people, but you could go and see it now while I sort out the flat. Sounds like a plan, joining Douglas. But before we can set off, do you think I could use a toilet, Gladys? It has been a long drive this morning. Oh, of course, dearie. Silly me. I should have offered you the convenience sooner. Go in and follow the passage down and round the corner. Do you girls want the ladies? Sally decided she had better go in case the opportunity did not arise again, and left Dora to Mrs. Edge administrations. By the time she returned, Dora seemed to have the whole plan down pat. Right, the landlady of the flat can see us this afternoon about 2, and the room round the corner is available to see now. So shall we do that and then go and have a coffee or something and look around the town? Absolutely. Thanks so much, Gladys, for your help. What is the address again? Number 2 Stanley Terrace. It's the next road on the left, and the lady's name is Mrs. Blacklock. I have no idea what it's like, mine, but if it doesn't suit, come back here. I have got one more suggestion up my sleeve. She winked and went back to her guard duty. The Thomases set off for Stanley Terrace. You can see this used to be our miners' town, can't you? Remarked Douglas. Rows and rows of back to back. It is a unique landscape to Britain and completely different from the south, eh? Sally was feeling a little apprehensive. These houses were so tiny they could only be 2 up, 2 down, and thought of sharing with complete strangers was daunting. They found number 2 and knocked on the front door. A dog barked, and a second later the door opened and a short, bald man stood filling the narrow doorway. Eh? Was all he said. Oh, hi, I am Sally Thomas. I believe Gladys at the theatre called you about me coming to look at a room here. I hope this is not an inconvenient time or anything. I mean, we can come back later if... Sally was rapidly running out of steam as she met the relentless grimace of the man, and now behind him a huge Alsatian dog was panting eagerly. Sally was not awfully sure if it was panting with delight or hunger. Oh, right, eh? The wife said. She deals with all that. Come in, love. Get back, Fred, out the road. Nora, come here. He stood back to let Sally in, and then tentatively squeezed between the door jambs and Fred's dribbling jaws into the front parlour. Dora followed with no qualms at all, and Douglas was left on the doorstep, neither in nor out. How do you do? I am Douglas Thomas. Sally is my daughter. Douglas held out his hand, and bald-headed man looked confused. Eh? We don't stand on ceremony here. Come in and sit this and down. I am Arthur Blacklock. Fred, out to the back with thee. He shoved the drooling dog through the parlour and out of the door on the other side of the room. Douglas inched his way into the room and joined his daughter on the hearthrug. They could just about all fit in the room. There was an open fire made up ready to go, and 2 huge chairs either side, covered in an array of anti-mascars. In the far corner, under a 1950 standard lamp, was a folding table with 2 chairs and a bowl of plastic flowers on top. The door leading to the kitchen was shut to keep Fred out, so it was very dark in the room, and the 3 of them could hardly make out Nora as she appeared at the bottom of the stairs to greet them. Goodness, what a crowd! We have not seen the like of so many people in here since me mum's wake, she laughed. I shall put the kettle on and we can have a chat. Which of you is the young lady who wants the room? Oh, that's me, said Sally, holding out her hand. Pleased to meet you, Mrs. Blacklock. This is my father, Douglas Thomas, and this is my sister, Dora. I'm sorry, we didn't mean to invade you like this on Sunday morning, but I'm very keen to find somewhere to stay before the season starts. No worries at all. Why don't you sit down where you can, and I'll get you some tea, Arthur. Where have you got to? Get the kettle on, will you? She opened the door to the kitchen. Sally could see through to the backyard where Arthur was sitting with Fred smoking a cigarette. Oh, you're useless. Stay out on the road and then let me get on with it. Nora went to the sink and filled a kettle. There was an old-fashioned range a fair full of cooker and red tiles on the floor, and a fine example of Victorian kitchen sink. Sally felt as if she was in a chapter of D.H. Lawrence's novel. Any minute now, a swarthy miner would appear and start to wash himself at the window. She should be so lucky. Thinking about baths, though, where the hell was the bathroom here? And indeed, was there even one? Mrs. Blacklock, before you go to the trouble of making tea, would you like to show me the room? I don't have much time today, as my father has to get back to Cheltenham. So we could see the room that could. So if we could see the room, that would be great, she said politely. Yes, of course, my dear. How stupid of me. Well, follow me then. It is not much, I grant you, but it is clean, and I'm happy to cook you an evening meal as well as breakfast. The kindly woman made her way back to the stairs, and up they went to a tiny landing, off which was 3 doors. Mrs. Blacklock threw open the far door with a flourish to reveal what could only be described as a large cupboard. There was the tiniest of windows, letting in gleam of hope for the inhabitants, who would be sat literally under the window ledge on the single bed, pushed up against the wall. On the other side, there was just room to squeeze between a pine wardrobe with no handle and a bedside table only big enough to hold a single lamp. Sally's heart sank. It was everything she had dreaded and more. Is there a bathroom? She whispered. Oh, yes, though we would have to organise when you had a bath because of the water heater. Would twice a week suit you, do you think? The lady of the house was now standing in the middle of a piece of cracked lino beside a freestanding tin bath wedged against the basin, barely clinging to the brackets that held it to the wall. The toilet's downstairs in the backyard. We keep meaning to get round to doing something about bringing it in, but it is what we are used to, really. Sally caught Dora's eyes and had to cough to cover her near outburst of the giggle. Could this be real? Right. Well, thank you very much, Mrs. Blacklock, for showing me around. I think the best thing is for me and my family to go away and have a think, and we will get back to you this afternoon. Is that okay? Yes, if you like, love. Nora did not seem bothered one way or the other. Dora was already out the door, and Douglas was steering his eldest eagerly towards the light. Come along, Sally, we must get on. He was waffling. Goodbye, Mrs. Blacklock. Regards to Mr. Blacklock. As the door number 2 closed behind him, the three of them were almost bent double with laughter, trying to put as much distance as possible between them and the house of horrors. Oh dear, I cannot believe what I have just witnessed, groaned Douglas. What in hell's teeth was that all about, Sally? Are you seriously telling me that you actors live in these places? Sally and Dora was holding on to each other for support. In fact, their hysterical laughter was very nearly tears as far as Sally was concerned. Was this going to be her fate? Oh, Dad, please don't. I don't know, do I? What on earth am I going to do? Chapter 6. The trio found Gladys back in the alleyway, now ensconced in their chair outside. The morning had blossomed into a perfect summer's day, with a clear blue sky and a slight breeze gently moving the August heat across the rooftop. Gladys had her skirt rolled up and was exposing quite a large amount of very white legs to the sun rays, while negotiating a bottle of stout in one hand and a folded Sunday People on her lap. A small table stood to one side, on which was a large plate of pie and chips. Back again, loves. How was it then? She asked. Not really big enough, I am afraid, replied Sally. They were very nice and everything, but I wouldn't have felt comfortable sharing their homes at such close quarters. I understand, dearie. These terraces can be really poky. I know, not much like down south, is it? She added. When I first came up here, I couldn't get my head around it either. It was like being in Coronation Street. I'm from Dangham. See, car's too cold. Meet my old man on a day trip to Blackpool and end up there. Anyway, enough about me. You'll be needing another plan. We don't want to ruin your Sunday morning completely, said Douglas, but if you have any other suggestions, we would be grateful. The three of them stood in front of Gladys expectantly. She hauled herself out of the chair and waddled in through the stage door, returning almost immediately with a number on a piece of paper. Here you go. Ring this number and see if they can help. You know Susan, Mr. Longfellow, PA. Sally nodded her head in acknowledgement. Well, her niece Jenny is coming to work at the theatre this season in front of the house because her boyfriend is an actor and he has got a job in the company. Can't remember his name, but he seems like a nice enough lad. So anyway, Susan has got them a little house up the hill behind here. I believe it has 2 bedrooms, and she did say to me that they would have to rent out the other room to help with the rent. If you ring this number, it is the niece's home and you could have a word. She doesn't live in Crewe, but I know they are coming down next week to move stuff in, ready to start at the beginning of September. Go in and use the theatre phone now. See if you can get any joy. I'll eat my pie if you don't mind, Duck, before it gets cold. She sat down again and lifted the plate off the side table and proceeded to devour the contents. Oh, yes, please do carry on. Thank you so much. Sally turned to the others. Shall we go and find somewhere to sit and have a drink or something and ring this number? Well, you might as well do that here first, as the phone is right there, Dora reminded her. Come on, give me the piece of paper. She took it from her sister and disappeared in the gloom. I'll wait here, Douglas said. Go on, dear. Dora had already dialed the number as Sally joined her. Give it to me, said Sally, leaning across and grabbing the phone. Patience, admonished Dora annoyingly. Before they could start bickering, a voice at the other end of the line answered. Hello, Nan Twitch, 7451. Oh, hi, sorry to bother you on Sunday morning, but I have been given your number by Gladys at the stage door of the theatre and crew. Are you Susan's niece, Jenny, by any chance? I'm so sorry, you must think me very rude. Sally was trying to squeeze close to the telephone while Dora was enjoying being obstructive. A small shove and Sally gained the advantage, leaving Dora no option but to get out of the way. She disguised her defeat by pretending to show enormous interest in the faded black and white photos pinned all over and the black wall of the cubicle. No, not at all. This is fine. Yes, I'm Janie Bell, Susan's niece. How can I help you, miss? Thomas? Sally Thomas. Well, I am an actress and I am starting the new season at Crew in 2 weeks' time. And my father has driven me up here today to try and find digs. So far, it has been a bit of a disaster, but Gladys on the stage door has just suggested I might try to talk to you, as I believe you and your boyfriend are coming to join also and have a house with a possible spare room. I would be so grateful if you might consider letting it to me. Well, we haven't really got that far yet, but I could talk to my bloke and my aunt and call you back. Have you got a number? Sally tried not to sound too pushy. Well, actually, I was wondering if there was any way I could see your place today while I'm here in Crewe, because we have to drive back to Cheltenham later today, and then I won't be back until we start. I'm just so worried about having somewhere to stay, if you can see what I mean. It is my first job and I'm a bit nervous. Sally called her sister, making boo-hoo signs and pretending to cry. Go away now, Sally. There was a pause at the other end of the line, and then the sound of a hand being placed over the receiver. Sally held her breath. Eventually the line cleared and a new voice came on the receiving end. Hello, Sarah. This is Susan Chambers here. I know we have talked on the phone and corresponded, and I hope you are not having too difficult a day. Jenny has just explained the situation to me, and I have assured her that I think it would be quite all right for you to go and see the house. Gladys has a set of keys. Are you with anyone? She asked. Yes, replied Sally. My father and my sister Dora. That would be brilliant if we could. I mean, we can ring you later to discuss rent, etc. But if I could at least get an idea of the place, it would help so much. I quite understand, the woman replied. Call us when you have been to see the house. Good luck. The line went dead and Sally breathed a sigh of relief. She then turned to Dora. Why do you have to be such a pain? This is important to me. You're always so quick to take the mickey. Oh, keep your hair on, retorted Dora, unbothered. Come on, let's get on. I'm bloody starving. They got the keys from Gladys and the address and set off up the hill towards the station. It was not far, and Sally's spirit rose at the turn into a well-maintained street with a row of Victorian houses. The latter was noticeably larger than the previous terrace, though not huge by any means. This looks more like it, commented their father as he turned the key in the lock. They all stepped gingerly over the threshold, feeling like intruders. Hope there was no squatters lurking, whispered Dora. Trust you to think the worst, Sally whispered back. Why are you whispering, girls? Father's voice resounded round the room and made them both jump. Oh, Dad, they shouted in unison. He laughed and turned on the light, revealing a delightful room, simple and welcoming, with a small sofa and dining table and chairs in the corner. There was a gas fire with a new rug in front of it. Someone had cleaned it up and painted it recently, very recently. A door led into the kitchen, which was bright and airy, contained a cooker, sink, and kitchen table and chairs. Unlike the last house they had visited, this was clean and light and more spacious. In the backyard was a tub of flowers which had recently been watered. They moved back into the living room and went up the stairs to the landing. It was similar again to the other house, but this time, thank God, the door to the bathroom revealed a reasonable sized room with bath space and a toilet, maybe not exactly habited, but perfectly decent. They examined the 2 bedrooms, and it was obvious which one was for the lodger, although it was still larger than the last disaster, and so much more pleasant. Oh, I could make this lovely, exclaimed Sally, and there is more than enough room to sit in here at night. It would be great if I could get an old telly, though. She threw a sideways glance at her father. We will see what we can do, he muttered. It's perfect, agreed Dora, and anyway, it's only until I get here. Then we'll have our own flat. Oh, yes, of course, said Sally. Once you arrive, everything will be just fine and dandy, won't it? Stop it, you two, ordered Douglas. Come on, let's go and get some lunch. You might improve your tempers. So what's the plan then? Asked Dora as they made their way down to the city centre. We go and see our flat after lunch and then go back to the stage door and ring Susan. Our flat. What are you like? Said Sally. Well, yes, okay, let's do that. Agreed, Dad? Absolutely, responded Douglas. Now, for heaven's sake, let's get something to eat. The town centre offered them very little. There was a market square around which clung the usual suspect Woolies, Smiths, and Boots. There was hardly a soul in sight, not a cafe or restaurant to be seen. They finally found a pub up a narrow alley which boasted Sunday lunch for £1.50. Douglas went to the bar while the girls found a table. It was quite busy, and there was a darts match going on in the corner, which was attracting great speculation from the regulars. A few gave the threesome a sideway glance and a nod and a smile. Native seems friendly enough, commented Dora as she smiled back. They ordered roast beef and Yorkshire pudding and settled back to watch the action. The landlady arrived a few minutes later with their order. Hey up, Chuck, here's your dinners. They were confronted with the biggest Yorkshire pudding they had ever seen in their lives. Oh my goodness, this is huge, gasped Sally. How on earth am I going to eat that? All that? Hey, we like 'em big here, said the landlady proudly. That's fuel. That is, you get that little lot down you and you'll keep going all day. Enjoy. Dora was in fits of laughter as she tried to tackle the basin of batter atop her pile of beef. It's like a desperate damned cowpat, she squealed, as gravy oozed over the side of her plate. Oh, help, it's going everywhere. She managed to shove a forkful into her mouth and was rendered speechless for the next 5 minutes as she worked her way through her platform. All three of them had to concentrate hard to achieve inroads into their meals. Finally, Douglas wiped his chin and said, Well, I have to say that was delicious. I have never tasted Yorkshire pudding like that in my life, and the beef just melts in your mouth. Absolutely, agreed Sally. I won't go hungry up here, will I? Even if I can only afford 1 meal a week. This is all I need. They finished their food, complimented the chef, and promised to come again. They had instructions from the landlady on how to reach the flat and set off. It was now 2 o'clock and Douglas was hoping to get away by 4. They walked back up the hill, passing the car and the theatre. There was no sign of Gladys. Maybe she's having a nap inside, said Sally. Let's hope she doesn't shut up shop before we get back. As they approached the road to the station, there was a few more signs of life. A couple with a pushchair were wending their way through the park to the right of the station entrance. A group of kids were kicking a football around, and there was a family eating hamburgers on a bench. The sound of the station came wafting across on the breeze, and Sally remembered her arrival that hot day in July for her audition. The station is enormous, you know, she remarked to no one in particular. It is very beautiful in an iron kind of way. Dora snorted. What does that mean, in an iron kind of way? Well, it is amazing buildings, almost like a cathedral with huge iron girders, like arches above the line. It is quite famous, isn't it, Dad? Sally turned to her father. Oh, yes, it is famous Victoria construction, and when the railway were being built, Crewe was very much at the centre of it all. Everybody changed trains at Kew. Now, come on, girls, let's get a move on. I reckon it is this road on the left. Douglas strode off towards a block of shops on the corner of a square at the side of the station. Sure enough, they arrived at the door of number 7, Ridgeway Road. Next door was a shop selling all things to do with needlework. Oh, this could be handy for you, Dora, said Sally. What do you mean? Well, you will be needing supplies for your job in the wardrobe, won't you? Dora didn't look very convinced. I suppose so, she said. There was half a dozen shops in the parade. A newsagent, a little tea room at the end, an insurance officer, and what looked like a travel agent, and a shop selling second-hand clothes. The door opened to the turn of the key, and they made their way to the upstairs flat, having picked up the usual pile of junk mail from inside the door. Is someone living here at the moment? Asked Dora. Yes, I think so, but Gladys said they are away for the weekend, so hopefully we won't find anyone at home. That would be embarrassing, wouldn't it? At the top of the stairs was another door, which had a Yale lock. Douglas started to open it. Maybe we had better knock first, just to be sure there is no one here, Sally said anxiously. Good idea, answering her father, and he knocked briskly. After a couple of minutes, he opened the door and popped his head in, calling out, Is there anyone at home? Dora had a fit of giggles, and Sally sighed with impatience. Oh, do come on, Dora, you are being pathetic. What's the matter with you? It's like Goldilocks and the 3 bears. The girls laughed. We 3 bears are back from the picnic, and someone's been sleeping in our beds. This set her off again, sighing. Sally left her to do it do it and follow her father along a corridor to the end, where he was already opening doors and examining cupboards. The room at the end was the living room, a huge room with one side all windows. The view left a bit to be desired, though as he overlooked the shunting yards at the back of the station, however, it made a certain quaint interest. The furniture was old and a bit shabby, but clean. There was a carpet on the floor, which could do a bit of shaking back, and some new curtains wouldn't go amiss, thought Sally. However, in the main, there was a nice atmosphere, and it was lovely and light and airy. Dora had arrived in the room and announced, "This is lovely. We can do things with this." The girls left their father investigating the meter in the corner of the room and went to find the bedrooms, which were in a row off the long corridor. The first bedroom was, like the front room, a large airy space with a huge double bed and a big walnut wardrobe. The curtain was in need of attention, and the rug at the bottom of the bed was faded and bedraggled, but there was nothing that couldn't be fixed. The second room was only slightly smaller. It too had a double bed and a wardrobe and a chest of drawers. Both rooms overlooked small gardens leading to the next row of houses in the road beyond. It was very quiet. "This is great, isn't it, Dora?" said Sally. "It will suit us perfectly." Their father joined them and agreed it was fine. It was fine. "We need to make sure you can afford it, though, Sally," he warned. "Come and see the kitchen and bathroom, and then we can go." The bathroom was a big room as well, function rather than fashionable, but so what? The kitchen was very 1960s with lots of Formica top cupboards and plastic handles, but all perfectly clean. There was a cooker and even a washing machine. They locked up and set off back to the theatre. Sally desperate to try and work out how much it will all cost. "Listen, don't fret, we will sort it all out." Douglas reassured her. They arrived back at the stage door just before 4 o'clock, and were relieved to find Gladys back in a corner, no doubt refreshed from her nap. "Any luck?" she inquired as Sally handed her back the keys. "Oh, Gladys, the flat was perfect. I love it. I just wish I could move in straight away. But our little house is lovely too, and I would definitely like to rent a room there with Jenny. Is it okay to use your phone again and call Susan so I can confirm things before I leave?" "Of course you can, dearie. There you go. Have you still got the number?" "That's it then. Get to it. Now, would you two like a cuppa while you wait?" She turned to Douglas and Dora in the doorway. "Oh, yes, please," said Dora. I could really do with a cuppa, thank you, Gladys." Sally dialed the number and waited, crossing her fingers. "Hello, main twitch, 7451. Sally reckoned Susan's voice. "Susan, is Sally Thomas here from the theatre?" "Oh, yes. Hello again. How did it go?" Susan asked. "Oh, it's perfect," said Sally. "I would so love to take a room if it's possible. Is Jenny still up for it?" "Yes, I know they both decided they would have to have an extra person to share the rent. Now, do you know the terms?" "No, I know nothing at all." Sally held her breath for the up-teen time that day. Giles' PA gave Sally all the detail. Sally signalled to her father to come and see what she was writing down. He did a few calculations and nodded his approval. Sally turned back to the phone. "Hello, Susan. Are you still there? That would be fine. Do you want a deposit? I can send you a check if you like." "Yes, that's a good idea. Send a month's rent in advance and address it to me at the theatre, and I will post you a receipt. You have got my number, and if you need to ask any further questions, you can ring me. I know you and Jenny will get on well, and Pete is very easygoing. I'm so pleased things have worked out, and I look forward to meeting you on the 12th of September. Sally put the phone down and did a little dance for joy. "Oh, this is great. I'm so relieved. I have found somewhere. Thanks so much, Dad. You are a star." She hugged her father, and they went into the alleyway to find Dora and Gladys demolishing a large packet of chocolate digestives. "We're so grateful, Gladys, for all your help. Just one last thing, and we'll leave you in peace. How do I secure the other flat for October?" "Oh, you can leave all that with me, dearie," said Gladys comfortably. "Miss Morris is an old friend. I will talk to her and explain everything, and she'll be in touch." "How do you know she'll approve of me?" asked Sally. "Oh, she loves you, dearie. Well brought up girl like you." The last comment elicited a snort of derision from Dora, who was stilled by a black look from her sister. "Well, if you are sure, that would be fantastic. I can't thank you enough." "I will make it up to you, I promise," Sally added. "And I will be here in October to help you as well," added Dora self-importantly. "I will make sure you and me eat cake all day long, Gladys." "Goodness me, pet, that won't do me any good at all. But bless you for thinking of me, so you had better all get going now. I have to shut up shop and get home to cook my Ronnie's tea." "Yes, of course. We are so sorry to keep you. Take care, and we will see you in a couple of weeks." Sally gave the large woman a big hug, and they left her at the stage door waving the biscuits at them by way of farewell. They climbed into the car as the sun was beginning to dip behind the rooftops, casting long shadows on the cobble street. "I like it up here," announced Dora from the back seat. "What it lacks in boutiques, it makes up for in heart, don't you think?" "Oh, yes," agreed Sally. "It seems so friendly, and I'm really looking forward to moving here." and quite frankly, I won't have any time or money for boutiques. It's going to be really tough doing a new play every 2 weeks, as well as learning the lines and doing all the stage management stuff they are going to throw at me. Well, it is what you want, said Douglas, and you will give it your best shot, Sally. You always do. Now let's get home to your mother and a second Sunday dinner. Thank you for listening.